I have been using a program in my computer now for many years. It's called CorelDRAW. I started out with CorelDRAW 3. Yeah, probably 25 years ago. And I found that I could draw something with extraordinary accuracy. However, I have also found that I cannot always transfer my drawing into reality in the workshop. So we're going to know by tonight whether I got the angles right here for these teeth. Yeah, it's not going to be a thing of beauty, but hopefully it's going to work. Now, if I'm to take a piece of wood that is, say, just a foot or two long, but it's 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, and I cut it into segments, and I angle my miter saw so it's 16.5 degrees, I should be able to end up with a 33-degree angle. 16.5 and 16.5 is 33. And if I fasten those little segments onto the existing teeth, or what looks like spokes on the existing balance wheel, I should end up with the same angle as what I drew. Now that angle we will refer to as the locking face. And the top of the tooth that is at a bit of an angle we will call the impulse face. Now, because I want a zero-tolerance sacrificial fence to make sure that the little segments don't go flying right through, I better cut that first, and naturally I want it at the same 16.5-degree angle as everything else. There's 5, 10, 15, 16, and about a half. Yeah, I'll just lock it there. Now you probably noticed I'm using a couple of vice grips here to hold on my board for the sacrificial fence. And if it was at a real acute angle, it could catch the vice grip, but as you can see, if you eyeball along it, it's not going to come anywhere close. Now this is a little bit over 3/4 of an inch. A little closer that way. About a 1/16 of an inch over. But I think that'll be alright. At least for the first trial. Got a lot of this in my scrap wood box. Okay, now this first cut is just to get rid of the end here. I'll readjust this stop after. Now, I know I'm not big on giving out safety tips, but there is something that I want you to notice here. And that is that, let's say I'm going to make this cut. You probably noticed that I didn't squeeze the trigger until the blade was almost right down on the work. The reason for that is because it's really easy to see when the blade is all the way down here where your fingers are. And it's not going to grab into the work. When it kicks, it actually backs itself up. So yeah, just a little tip there. You know, I can see, you know, how far my fingers are from the blade because it's all the way down. Whereas when it's up here, you could have your knuckle in the wrong place, or, you know. Anyway, you get the idea. Now this tip, I've said this at least 2 or 3 times, but when you're cutting with a saw like this, I find that if I wait for the blade to come to a complete stop before I raise it up, there's less chance of it grabbing and kicking, especially when you're doing little pieces. Now those teeth that you saw me cut up, well, they were just a little bit too tall. Too tall from here to here. And so as you can see, I've cut shorter ones. And they seem to be just right. I've glued them in place with CA medium. And I've got to trim the top of each of the original teeth off, as you can see. However, that's going to have to be tomorrow. I'd actually been hoping this thing would be sort of half running today, but that's the way it goes. I'm not discouraged. I'm not even disappointed. I'm just a little bit surprised.